Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video on the Porsche GT, whatever you want to call it, replica. There was the comment section when it went out on this video. I'll be honest, I spent most of the night laughing. Guys, I'm not pulling the stickers off of it. I'm not removing the spoiler. Quite a lot of people were saying, put it back to standard. It's not going to make it worth any more money. It's not going to make it worth any more money or any less money at all. It is what it is, and this is pretty much how it is going to stay. The car is not without its faults. We know it has got a few problems. I drove it up the road and back, and there was quite a lot of lights on the dash, various other little bits of rubbing and grinding where the brakes were quite rusty and it had been sat for quite some time. A few people even said that this spoiler was upside down. I'm not really sure how you could fit it upside down, but if I'm wrong, guys, if that is upside down, someone let me know in the comment section. It's definitely been screwed on and there's no holes in that side of it, and I can't imagine it goes into that swoop when it swoops around that way. So maybe even just these little winglets on the end around the wrong way, if that's what you want to call them. So there is quite a few little jobs to do to it, and the worst thing being is it has got a flat battery, and that's not going to help it in any way, shape or form. So that's why the video's taken quite a while for the next one. I have ordered a new battery for it. It arrived and it was actually not quite the right one for it, so I sent it back and the new one's just arrived. So enough waffle, let's crack on. I want to get on with this car and hopefully let you guys know what we're going to do with it by the end of the video. Straight into it here, guys, through the passenger door to get the driver's door open, let the handbrake off and rolled it back. Out with the battery, just two little clips on the battery cover, and then the new one, I've popped it in there and cleared out the actual front bonnet because it was full of rubbish when we actually got the car, and I've never taken it out. Straight in to tighten up this new battery, and you can see I was actually searching for the battery secure. The little bracket was actually missing, but I found it down the back, got it bolted down. The old one wasn't actually bolted in, so all done there with a new battery. So that was a success, guys. Nice new battery from Tainer Batteries there. Don't forget there is a discount code if you want to order any batteries from them. Can't recommend them enough. They arrive here next day. So I put the battery on and the alarm started really screaming and I couldn't turn it off. So I've just took the key out, put the battery back on, and now it is, I mean, it's beeping because the bonnet's open, the doors are open. But it has been sat here all this time, so first of all we'll just see if it starts and then we'll move on to the other jobs. My ears are still ringing. That is so loud, that alarm. But it has started straight up. There's no smoke there at all. Right, next job I think. Let's get the scanner out because this had so many lights on. It was unbelievable. Let's let it warm up and get it plugged in. I'd like to run and get some ear defenders. I've got the OBD2 socket plugged in and got the scanner out. I'm just going to search for the car, get it logged on, let it completely load, and then we'll all have a look together. But of course there's a lot of lights on, but that is the ignition's on at the moment. When you start it up, quite a lot of those go off, but that PSM off, it actually is lit up here. So I'm not even going to lie, I'm not even sure what PSM is. No idea. Anyway, let's get into it and have a good look. Do you know what else? The temperature gauge is going a bit erratic there. I don't think it can quite work out where it is, let alone what day of the week it is. Anyway, let's get this logged on and we'll have a look. A quick code scan. Sorry about the unsteady hands, guys. Just loads and loads of codes come up as I expected. So overall, not too bad. And I would definitely go as far to say some of these are going to be battery related. Alarm system, very, very interesting, because that sure did scream. My ears are still ringing even 20 minutes later. But I will have a look into a couple of them, but what I'm probably going to do is actually clear those faults. Read codes, let's have a look. And then start again from scratch, start the engine. Voltage failure at terminal 30 with alarm system active. W lead DME immobilizer, K lead, central locking limit position, secure not reached. So straight away it's come up with the battery there, the voltage. So that's going to have something to do with it. Fingers crossed. I haven't tried to clear them. Airbag, there's not actually an airbag light on, so not really sure what that one is there, but let's have a look at it. Sorry guys, sometimes this does go slow, other days it's very, very fast. Power supply. Yeah, I think these are all going to be battery related, and you guys did say in the last video, Rob, why don't you plug it in and scan it? And that was a good question, but I don't suppose we really had time in that video, and we knew that this was going to be a bit of work, so come on, wakey wakey. You know what, we've been through most of them now, we might as well do them all. Booster pump, brake switch, A circuit, return pump fault. So again, I'm not going to take any of these into consideration until we've actually cleared all the codes, run it, driven it, and seen if any of them have actually come back, because I do think that they're just low voltage and battery related. Right, last ones. Please refer to vehicle service manual. Please refer to vehicle service manual. So guys, I'm going to go ahead, clear all those, get it out, run it up and down the yard a couple of times, and then we'll rescan it again and see what comes back, if anything comes back at all. And a quick clear here, just clear all of those codes, and you can see just one of them's come back up. So just off the bat, I've started it up to run it again, and the only fault that's come back up is ABS. Everything else has cleared, it's got no faults. But I strongly, really do believe it needs driving. The discs are really rusty, the sensors are probably all gunked up. So I am actually going to take this for a run and see if I can get them to clear. And then we'll do another scan on it. But so far so good. Let's see how we get on. And that PSM light, PSM, yeah, has actually gone off now, so all good there. Right, let's take it for a drive. Right, very slight change of plan. MOT. This car has not got an MOT, hasn't had one for a long time. We've had it up on the ramp. It does all look okay underneath. I know it has got some odd tyres on it, and that bothered quite a lot of you, but they are well legal. I'm convinced that ABS light's going to go off once I start giving this car a drive. So why not drive it to an MOT, even see what it fouls on? I don't think there's a lot this to foul on. So what I'm actually going to do is, the most important job is, this door doesn't open from the outside, does it? And that is an MOT failure. I'm going to get that done, and I'm actually going to go through this. I'm going to do the wipers, the washer jets. I'm going to go right through it all and do a pre-MOT on this. And I'm actually going to run it over this afternoon for an MOT. Hopefully that ABS light goes out, and then fingers crossed this car passes an MOT. I don't want to take it down, get it validated, and before it's been MOT'd, etc, etc. So once it's booked in, we're legal to drive it, aren't we? So we'll see how we get on. Let's get on with all these little jobs, including that irritating door handle. Right onto the door panel to fix this handle. There was one hidden screw behind an airbag plug. Once I remove that, door panel come off. Side airbag had to come out in order to get some access in there. There was also a couple of metal brackets there that had to be moved out of the way. Very, very small access and a little area to work in. It's so hard to see or show in there, guys. You literally can't see anything. The car was blue before, guys, not the door, so it hasn't been in any accidents. So basically, I would say it as a, explain it rather, as a nut and bolt. So basically there's a bolt hanging out the door handle, and then there's like a thread, a plastic thread onto the catch, and it had actually just popped out where it was not wound in there all the way. Then there's like a hook on it. So I've pushed it in there as far as I can, checked the handle outside, clipped it in there, and then put an extra clip over the top of it. So far so good, and the handle's all working. I'm just going to build that door panel back up, and then hopefully we don't have no more problems with it, because that was a nightmare, fiddly, to get two hands in that little hole. I had to remove this plate, had to remove the door airbag out of there, loads and loads of little nuts and bolts, but it's all part of it, isn't it? Let's get that back together and move on to the next job. Typical, guys, it is a short day for the MOT tester, and he did say, I'll see what I can do and ring you back. He cannot get it in today, so unfortunately I'll have to pick up on it once I do. I've disconnected the battery in case the alarm goes off, but I'm going to show you that the door opens now, but I need to put the glass under there and then shut it, because obviously the window's not dropping when the where there's no power. But I think I've done all of the little jobs. I've been round, I've done all of the lights, both number plate lights wasn't working, passenger side light wasn't working. I cleaned up one of the number plate lights, changed the bulb in the other, and it was a bulb in there. All of the lights are working. You can probably see a little bit of water down there. All the washer jets are working, and they're clearing the windscreen. So I can't see any reason why this wouldn't pass an MOT. So I'll pick up as soon as it's time to take it for test. So a few days later now, guys, and I'm back from MOT, and it was actually a success, but not without its faults. It's got an advisory for the near side front headlight. It's deteriorated and damaged. It's got an advisory for a minor oil leak, and an advisory for the exhaust is corroded on the near side rear. And we did notice that when we got it up in the air. But as you can see, driving it over there, I went the A roads and I was stamping on the brakes. I've cleaned all the discs up, so the brakes were absolutely perfect. And the car drove over there perfect. But driving home from MOT, I got 2/3 of the way back. It started fluttering and it actually just cut out and it wouldn't start back up. So we've actually had to go and get the recovery truck and pick the car up. Now it's cooled down, I've turned the key, it's fired up, it's on the button again. So that's going to want some investigating. So let's get it unloaded, get it in the workshop and have a look at it. A little side note from the Porsche. Mark just called me. Can Auto Salvage, got this van coming. It's obviously one he's bought in private. And asked if me and Chris wanted to buy it. Peugeot Boxer. Now we've done one of these before, didn't we? A white one. It's got a few dents in it, but he's told me how much he wants for it. Non-runner. Tidy enough, and we love a van. Couple of little marks on it there. Yeah, it looks alright, doesn't it? I think this might be the same engines what's in that Transit. No, it won't be, will it? This is too late. I think the earlier ones have got that same 2.2 Transit engine in them. There's a crack in the windscreen there as well. Looks alright though, doesn't it? Do you know what, guys? I'm going to go in the office and give them a bid for it. We'll take a chance if it's worth the money. I've left him a bid, guys. And I think Mark just tried using the oldest trick in the book there with me. He said, I've got a couple more people come and have a look at it, Rob. I'll let you know a little bit later. So, look, I've left him a bid. quite often this trade to trade. I used to buy all of my cars from Marks. I used to have a big insurance company contract, and I would literally come down here every morning and buy something. And that's how I got to know them so well, because 9 times out of 10 I'd actually stay in the yard all day and repair them, because he had the cars and he had the bits for them. So you used to do a deal where you bought the car with all the bits, and if I had a wheel knocked off them, I'd stay in here all day, get a subframe on them, get them all up and moving, and then take them off to the paint shop with all different colour panels on them. But yeah, we'll leave it with him and see how we get on. He said he'd give me a call, so back to the yard. So guys, back to the Porsche, and we are in the office. Now, probably 80% of the people will be over the moon about what I'm just about to say, judging by the first video on it, Chris, that Porsche.
Yeah.
In the comment section, I must honestly, I was laughing at people's opinion on that car. So when we actually bought that car, it got described. I see the pictures of it. I did go and have a look at it, and I explained it to Chris. And once we got it back here, got it up on the ramp, don't get me wrong, it is a nice car, isn't it? But it does want quite a lot of work, and to make it really nice, it wants really doing underneath. There's a little oil leak there, there's a blowout the exhaust. You're not going to repair the exhaust, which means ultimately it's going to need a new one. And I think we're both in agreement that after last year we had a like sort of end of year meeting, and we agreed there is no more long-term projects. There's your Viva and your little bits, but you're doing them in your own time.
And my Morris truck.
Yeah. But you want to get things finished.
Yeah, we can't.
No,
we can't.
I've got the Series 1, and Chris said, Rob, that Porsche is, whether you like it or not, it is a bit of a long-term project. Not as in-depth as some of them, like the LSE. And just to bring up the LSE, because it still gets mentioned, all of the welding work's done on that. All of the shuts have been painted. That car wants, what would you say, painting, putting back together and fettling.
Yeah.
And that car, believe it or not, it just keeps going up and up and up in value. And the cheapest one I could see online when I last looked was 35k. We'd take 10 for that, wouldn't we?
We would, mate, yeah.
And it probably wants £5,000 to paint it, put it back together and make it mint. So that is, I mean, that is something that we would actually let go. Anyway, when I bought the car, the Porsche, I was trying to negotiate the price with the guy, and he said, mate, I've got another 2 people that want that car, so you're fighting against them. And you never know, people have tactics to sell things to you. So we kind of agreed on a price, and I bought it on that agreement. And at the time, Chris said, oh, I could have done with being a little bit better than that, really. So what I actually did before we unloaded it off the truck was I called that guy and said, look, did you have other people interested in it? And he said, yeah, why? And I said, it's not really as nice as we thought it was, and I've MOT'd it, I've done a load of little jobs on it, it's got no more warning lights, you could actually drive it and use it as it is, we'd like to get out of it. And he said, how much have you got in it? And I'll be it, we ain't lost no money.
We've covered
a day's money.
Yeah, we've covered our costs.
We've covered our costs, and that car's going back to him, guys. So that is the end of the Porsche. And to be honest with you, I'm quite happy it's going, because it was just sitting in the yard, taking up space. And in the back of my mind, I knew what Chris said. It wants to go up on the ramp. It wants a week under there, tidying it all up, painting bits up, changing the exhaust. And we have not got time for it. We want quick turnaround, short-term projects that we can get in, do like that motorcycle video. If you guys watch that, we bought it in and we got it all done in one video and out the door. They can't all be like that, we know, because they need frame damage and they need the frames repairing. We need to order bits from the cars, but you kind of get where I'm going with this one. So that is the end of the Porsche series. It's been 2 videos and that is the end of it. Have you got anything to add to this video?
I don't think so.
Oh, apart from Mark just called. Sorry to interrupt you there after asking you. Mark just called and said, Rob, unfortunately I've had a better bid. So he was actually telling the truth. And fair play to him. If he can get more money, there is probably more money in that van for him. But we had a go at it, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to include you guys, because we could have ended up at the same time buying that video in this video. Now, sorry, back to you, mate. Anything to add?
I don't think so, Rob. I think you've covered it all, mate. Yeah.
We've started using the office a bit more. We've got another member of staff.
Part-timer.
I've not ever seen that before, but that looks like you've started collecting the change at the vehicles into a bottle.
I have, yeah. Apparently that I didn't know what it was. I picked it up in Faversham. It's a pasta, glass pasta container.
Everyone always
glass.
mentions it.
I thought it looked quite nice, full of coins. So
yeah.
It's going to take a long time to fill up, but once it's full, maybe we do a guess the amount and some prize for the nearest or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's all I think in here. I'll put my new picture up.
That you got in Cornwall.
Yeah, I did put a post on my to give him a shout out. Ebenezer, something like that gallery in Polperro. Last time I was there, I saw that, really liked it.
And that's
nice.
That's an old boy, a local artist.
It is. He lives in Cornwall. Yeah, J.A. Harding.
Right.
You can see on that bushel box, Rob. He's put his name on there.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
there, see it?
Yeah, J.A. Harding. Yeah,
and that's Portloo in Cornwall. So,
right.
And I've bought one of his pictures previously that got indoors. So yeah, I thought it looked nice in here. So
yeah, it's
quite
very,
bright,
very nice.
isn't it?
Nice and bright.
Yeah,
really brightens
different.
it up. Yeah. Right, so that is it, guys. That is the end of today's video and the end of the series on the Porsche. Of course, as usual, I want to hear your thoughts and your comments in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Follow us on Instagram, Salvage Rebuilds. If you ever send us a message regarding anything, always include your telephone number. And you can follow Chris where he's in Cornwall buying paintings and boot fairs and other bits and bobs on his personal Instagram, and that's Salvage Rebuilds Chris. We'll see you all very, very soon in the next one.